Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays Spelunky, either episode 2 or episode like 117, depending on when you joined the series. Last episode, interesting primer to Spelunky. It could have gone worse, and certainly, you know, episodes that I've done of Spelunky in the past have gone worse. Oh my god, that was terrible. Oh, okay, that was even worse. You know what? Cut! We're gonna start this one over. I'll cut this out in post. I'm actually not gonna do that. That's the joke. We're just gonna lay ourselves up and then try again. If you have a bad run to start with Spelunky, you know, it's not impossible to recover from it. It is a little unlikely, though, so I thought, why don't we start fresh and have some good times here? The enemy of success in Spelunky is absolutely rashness, and, you know, the worse you do in the early game, the more likely you are to be rash a little bit later. A big part of my strategy is, you know, getting some health early. Okay, that was scary. Getting some health early so that I can, you know, open up some breathing room so that not every mistake is the end of the world. Now, we'll see how the best laid plans of mice and men end up working out for us here. Worth noting, you know, there actually are physics in the game, of course, as we saw from our death on the last episode. So, if that arrow had fallen on us, it definitely would have done damage, and arrow traps do 2 damage. So we didn't necessarily want that to happen. By the way, for everyone who's asking, if you want to change your damsel to a dog, your options menu, settings, and then just switch to the dog down here. Or you can, you know, roll with the damsel of your choice. Doesn't really bother me. I'm not going to judge you. Unless you take the lady, in which case, what are you thinking? You got a dog there and a YouTube super celebrity. Oh, that was very close to me eating my own words and dying there. But yes, I'm just joking, of course, again. Do whatever you feel fit. And we did get the climbing gloves right off the bat. Now, most of you are probably familiar or could divine what climbing gloves do. Essentially, though, we're Spider-Man now, so we can't swing on webs, but we can climb up walls with the greatest of ease. Be a little careful here. Wonder if I can kill this snake, yeah, without even having to risk my own life there. Climbing gloves, one of my favorite items in the game, and in fact, maybe not one of my favorite items in the game overall, but for, like, the utility of the item, the usefulness of the item, versus the amount that it shows up. It's very good. It's also pretty cheap when you want to buy it in the shop. Normally it costs you about 8,000, which might seem pretty expensive when we're trying to gun for 50,000 here, but it's actually relatively cheap compared to other items that are kind of similar. Now, that being said, you know, jetpack's more expensive, but it's also a lot more useful in most situations. Similarly, the cape is more expensive, but it can also prevent you from taking damage with a little bit more reliability. That being said, don't rain on my parade, please. I really like the climbing gloves, and the fact that we got them for free renders all other points moot. Now, we will rescue Monty here. Now, this is a daring situation. There is a spider up here. I don't think he can get out, though, so yeah, if we just whip him, that is 3 extra bombs. And you might not realize it yet, but bombs are kind of the lifeblood of any Spelunky run. If I could have 30 of those, which might seem crazy now, but is not out of the realm of possibility, I would be an extraordinarily happy camper. Bombs are useful for everything from killing enemies later in the game, you know, killing things like big spiders or, you know, Anubis once we get down to the temple, all the way to, you know, discovering more crates, and each crate pays out with either an item or a minimum of 3 consumables, so either, you know, 3 bombs, 3 ropes, or something like a parachute or a catcher's mitt, etc., etc. So crates are always very, very useful. There is an altar down here, so I might consider sacrificing our damsel on this floor if we can find one relatively close to it. There's a pretty good example of why I almost always go for crates when given the opportunity. We can't quite make that without wasting a rope. So I'm not going to waste a rope to get a ruby. Even though, you know, we could buy more ropes, 3 for 2,500 in almost every shop in the game. Who knows? Last run we ran out of ropes, and that can make make things harder. It might not ruin your run, but it might. And in fact, in our case, it definitely did limit the possibilities that we had in front of us. So we are just gonna, oh, I thought I could trigger that arrow trap there. I guess it's not really necessary. Now, if you haven't figured out, the trick with those spiders is that they fall after you kind of like run under them. That was really bad on my part. So the damsel is not here yet, but if we can use a rope to bring the damsel up here, might be worth it. But for now, we don't need to use a rope. Instead, we can just, oh, there's the damsel. Pretty far away, actually. So we have a cape, spike shoes, throwing glove, or sorry, catcher's glove, pitcher's glove, my mistake, and the cape. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm actually going to save my money in this situation. That's not necessarily the strategy that I always use, but it's what I'm going to use here. Now, we are going to use a bomb to get to this damsel. Whether we get health or an item for him a bomb is a fairly decent trade, all things considered. There's also 500 gold down here. And I think I am going to use a rope to sacrifice our damsel at the altar above in the hopes that we pick up a really good item. And also, you know, start building those brownie points with Kali early so we can get better items as a result. Okay, so there we go. We basically got the pitcher's mitt for free. It's not a great item, and in fact, sometimes it can almost be more trouble than it's worth. What it does is it makes you throw perfectly straight. So rather than having an arc, you can throw, I'm not sure if it's unlimited range, but you throw perfectly straight for a long time, and faster as well, I believe. So it can mess you up a little bit if you're used to having an arc, or if, you know, you're fighting an enemy that you want to hit from above. But it's also, there's times when it works out well as well. There we go. That was a really good throw for absolutely no reason, which is something that is another big factor in me not being very good at Spelunky, is always, or very often at least, wasting my time in areas where I don't need to be. So we are going to waste 2 bombs to get in here. We are going to get 2,500 gold, which is enough to buy 3 more bombs if we come across a shop with them. And the big money maker, the reason I made the decision to come in here in the first place is obviously this crate, which could have 10 bombs in it, or 3 bombs. Yeah, so we know we paid 2 bombs, got 3 bombs in return, as well as 2,500 gold. So that's nothing to sneeze at. Sometimes who dares wins. Sometimes better safe than sorry. You just gotta, I don't know, choose which one you're gonna go with at each individual time. Oh, also the other thing is that the pitcher's mitt will allow us to throw not only bombs, but other projectiles straight ahead as well. Again, sometimes a blessing, sometimes a curse, depending on what you're throwing and what you're throwing it at. But in our current situation, shouldn't be a deal maker or breaker for us here. So let's just break this open, see what we got down here. Largely a nice cache of gold, and this is a pretty average series of floors in my professional opinion so far, which is great. I love dealing with normal circumstances in Spelunky. That's what I'm trained for, essentially, is to deal with things that are usual. It's where things start to get a little bit funky that I lose my ability to keep a clear head about myself. Anyway, I would love to trigger that arrow trap. That's exactly what happened there. So we are at 32,000 gold, which is really good, but we still do lack the Ujat Eye, which again is not 100% essential, but is pretty important for me if I'm going to keep things interesting. This scares me. This arrow trap is going to trigger. I really should have kept the dog with me. You know what we can do here? Let's put a bomb down here, and this should allow us to get this stuff a little bit... Wow, that didn't help at all, actually. I'm a total idiot. It did open up this extra 1,000 gold up here for me, but was that worth it? In this situation, I would say probably not. We'll use another bomb here, and I am going through bombs much more quickly than I'm comfortable with. Don't get me wrong. And if this arrow trap is already triggered, I will feel like an asshole. There we go. So we just used the emerald to make it happen. We got 3 ropes back. So we traded 2 bombs for 3 ropes. That's not the end of the world. 37,000 gold, 5 health, soon to be 6. Oh, and there's another... Oh my god, it scared the shit out of me. There's another crate which I want to get. Just get the crate quickly. Okay, spike shoes, decent item. Allows us to kill some enemies by jumping on them once that can normally only be killed by jumping on them twice. Pleased-ish with how this floor went down. Let's just leave before the ghost kills us. If you haven't divined this already, the ghost will kill you in 1 hit. So we're 3 levels deep, and we absolutely need to get the Ujat Eye here if it exists. Otherwise, you know, we will not restart this run, but we'll reposition this run as a run where I'm not necessarily going to... oh my god, there's nothing I can actually use to trigger that arrow trap here. As one where I'm not necessarily going to try to go to the black market. Instead, maybe I will just be trying to have a good time. Now, I was very concerned about that. Luckily, weirdly enough, getting hit by that first arrow trap saved me from getting hit by the second one because I was in a period of invulnerability. I don't think I want anything... Oh, good, our chest is on this floor. And, you know, this is what I mean when I said earlier on that I like getting health early because it gives me some breathing room. If I didn't have all of those damsels that we picked up earlier, we would have been in an awful situation now. Now we're only in a slightly bad... Wow. Okay, just slow down. Again, rashness is the enemy in Spelunky. Despite the way I'm playing so far, you wouldn't think that I'd, you know, espouse that advice. Anyway, first things first. We got to take this chest with us. We're still not quite at 50,000, but we're going to be at the point where we're close enough soon. Oh my god. This is what I mean when I say that the thrower's mitt or pitcher's mitt is sometimes a curse as well. Because I could have thrown that accidentally like across the whole map, which would have been obviously pretty terrible. So there's the Ujat Eye. All is not lost. Hopefully we will be able to get to the black market to show that off for the people who have never seen it before. Pretty soon the black market is going to become kind of the norm, or at the very least, it's going to become like a metric for success. You'll be like, oh my god, Northernlion, you didn't even make it to the black market on this episode. You might be watching this thinking, no way, man, I'll always be impressed with the way you're playing Spelunky. It'll happen to you. I used to be with it, and then they changed what it was, and now I'm, you know, anyway. If I don't know the direct quote, I'm not going to even go for it. Well, I went for it, but let's not go for it all the way. Okay, so we're on the jungle. Contrary to the Guns N' Roses song, the jungle is not all fun and games. Especially when you get a floor like this, which is like a Who Turned Out the Lights floor, as I will colloquially refer to it. Which means we have this torch which illuminates the area around us, but also, you know, there's a much greater risk because we can't plan ahead as much as we otherwise might be able to. Now, there are benefits to these floors as well. You'll find people who really, really dislike these kind of floors, and there's a good reason for that. They probably drastically lower your survivability. However, they also make it easier to farm up a lot of gold, because if you get those lightning bugs, which I got there, fireflies maybe, scarabs if you're a big fan of Aladdin, then those are worth 5,000 gold each, which is crazy good. Beyond that, that was just a little bit of extra gold. Is it worth fighting the snake? Yeah, probably. Yeah, we got another 125 there. We're so close to 50,000. I figured that might push us over the edge. Also, every time you light one of these torches, you do pick up like 300 and something gold as a result. I think it's 375. So it's not the end of the world when you end up on a floor like this. It does make it a little bit harder. There's no question about that. And, you know, my statistics on rooms like this or floors like this, oh my god, the Ujat eye is blinking. So there is, in all likelihood, the black market is somewhere around here. Now this gets tricky and stupid, because, oh my god, just jump away. Holy shit, that ended up working out well for us. Okay, wait a second. I'm going to come down here and get Monty, as I colloquially refer to the dog, and then we're going to light this torch and get just a little extra gold. I can't believe I didn't die there. Didn't even get hit. But we're going to try to pursue... It's almost like the motion detector in Alien, you know? Or Aliens, I suppose. We're going to run through here, and the more this blinks, the closer we are to the entrance to the black market. There's also other visual indicators. It must be, like, directly below us here. There's other visual indicators, but we can't see them, really, because we're, you know, on this kind of floor. Now, there is the entrance. Oh, I don't want to mess with that flower. We're just going to go to it. So that is how you find the black market. I am pleased that we are on a little bit better form than we were in the last episode. We do still get Monty, even though we dropped him off at the other exit. Now, we're in the black market. Now, there's a lot of shops in here. The most important thing for us to buy, if you're interested in going to Hell and the City of Gold, at least, is the Ankh, which is down here every single time, always down here. Now, you got to be very careful. Don't anger these shopkeepers. In fact, if they get hit by anything, they will blame you. So be aware of this. We won't be able to buy anything else because we have so little money. In fact, we might just buy a bomb bag and then get out of here. There's other various items which we'll pick up later, but in any case, I'm glad that we got this done. What does the Ankh do? The Ankh gives you, it says eternal life, but it's actually just like one respawn. So if you die, you will respawn with 4 health as if nothing had ever happened, and you'll respawn basically on the same floor, the entrance to the same floor that you died on. Wow, there must have been a grandfather frog or a large frog down here that got killed by that spike trap, which is going to give us these spring shoes. Which is quite nice, actually. Spring shoes combined with climbing gloves as a nice synergy. Now, in order to get to the City of Gold, you're going to need to die in a very specific place, or on a very specific floor, at least. So we're going to try to make that happen. Now, I absolutely hate the I Hear Rushing Water floors. Essentially, what these are is floors with a ton of water that have piranhas surrounding them. Now, money, still important to us, but most important thing for now is just surviving until the part where we're supposed to die, if that makes any sense. And then after we die, we pick up an item, and that item, you know, in conjunction with 27,000 other items, allows us to actually go to the City of Gold. So let's throw this down here. We're going to capture this man. Remember, we kill him in 1 because we have the spike shoes. We drop him down here. Kali should be pleased with us, and indeed she is. In fact, I should go back up there and get that caveman if I can. You know, it shouldn't be too difficult for me to find the exit. I am going to burn a rope to make this happen. One of my good friends, Michael A.L. Fox, is a very good Spelunky player. He's also on YouTube. Oh, that was really stupid of me. He's also on YouTube, youtube.com/Michael A.L. Fox. Plays a lot of Spelunky and is very good at it. I have made a terrible mistake, and then this is not the right time to invoke his name. But he always plays these altars very aggressively, and that's to get an item called the Kapala, which allows you to replenish your health easily by killing enemies, basically. You kill enemies, they have blood, that blood fills up your Kapala, and this allows you... I kind of just want to leave this floor, honestly, because I worry about the disaster that could happen if I stay. Though we probably should have looked for a damsel, the rushing water problem is big for us, because if we fall in the water, we're just going to die, basically. But yes, he gets the Kapala, and the Kapala allows you to get basically lifesteal, and it works pretty quickly, too. It's not like, you know, Rogue Legacy, for example, where, you know, if you put on lifesteal gear, you're going to get... ooh, this is a scary place. If you put on lifesteal gear, you're gonna get, you know, 2 HP back per kill or something like that. It's more like, you know, first off, you have less health in Spelunky, so every little bit of health that you get is extraordinarily valuable. In addition to that, you know, from 5 or 6 enemies, you could get 1 HP back, which is actually very, very important relative to, you know, the amount of starting HP you have. So I do kind of want to look around for the possibility of our dog just being around here. We might not get lucky, though. But if we take this, you know, very slow and cautiously and deliberately, it shouldn't be impossible for us to do what I want to do. We'll see, though. Can I make it a... you know what? It's not even worth trying to make it across this gap. Let's just see what we got over on this side. I see some gold. It's not worth it. Let's just head down to the ice caves. With our climbing gloves, we can do some pretty good movement. So we're about to enter... Oh, my God. What do you want? Can you give me 2 bombs so I can blow it up? You know what? Fuck you, Tunnel Man. I might need those bombs as we get a little bit further along. Bombs are very precious, and I don't have that many of them. So, we're on the ice caves. New series of enemies. New hazards. It's worth noting there is a bottomless abyss on every floor of the ice caves that we have to be very concerned about. So if you fall, be very careful, because you can just fall forever. We were able to do that because we had the spike shoes, by the way. Don't try this at home unless you are in the same boat. There's enemies that can kill you in 1 hit. There's enemies that have the ability to freeze you, and that kills you in 1 hit. There's enemies that create explosions. There's, well, like that one right there. There's an abundance of landmines. And apparently live bombs as well, if the game wants to be a true asshole to you. We're looking specifically for a statue, and I believe the statue cannot actually fall on the very first floor. So I'm not super concerned yet. There's our exit. We're going to blow up the landmine. We should still be able to get into the exit, yes. We're looking for a very specific statue. I have abandoned our boomerang, which, don't get me wrong, does have me a little concerned, but we can go back for it. That's number 1. Number 2 is it's not the end of the world, even if we couldn't go back for it, because once we die, we will lose all active items that we hold, so we won't have our boomerang, or if we had a shotgun, we wouldn't have the shotgun anymore. That was really risky and could have killed me, so I probably shouldn't have done it, but we're still here, so I must be doing something right. Apologies, by the way, for the occasional clunkiness in the frame rate. That is a Spelunky issue, not a Northernlion specific issue, so... I think, anyway, unless my computer is getting a little bit older than I think it is. But anyway, that was a good floor for us. We're going to amass a little bit of extra health. Very important. There is another... I was going to say... It is a damsel. I was going to say that I made a mistake by saying damsel. By the way, don't get hit by that. That will freeze you in place. The only reason I'm actually going to go through with this is because I have the spike shoes, so these guys are easy enough to kill. And we can pick up the gems. Not that the gems are super important, but I need to kill some things just so that I can, you know, move side to side. Because if I don't, then I can't really see if the statue's on the level. And, you know, the statue being on the level is of paramount importance. Because that is the level that we are meant to die on. Now, I'm not sure if we'll be able to hit this man. I'm not even sure if I would classify him as a man. He's more like some kind of Yeti-type creature. Is there a statue over here? Can I climb this? I do have the spring shoes. Just knock him down here. I thought maybe he might trigger the landmine, which I like to do. Even though it's a little risky to trigger the mines, it's good to do it just to make sure that you don't accidentally walk over it. Like, if you can do a controlled detonation, that'll put you in a better position. So I'm coming up here mostly to see if there's something I missed. That was a risky jump for me. But it was a very smart jump because the idol is indeed, or the statue head is indeed on this level. So this is the level that we're supposed to die on. We can die in whatever fashion we choose. So I think if I'm smart here, what I should do is actually bring the dog to the exit. which is over on the left side, if I remember correctly. So we're bringing the dog to the exit. Ooh. But then if we die, it's okay. Even if we fall. So this should give us 1 health after we respawn, and then just plummet to our death. The parachute doesn't want it to happen, but unfortunately, it doesn't have any say in the matter. Eventually, we will die and we'll be taken to the abyss. I guess I could make the parachute stop working and then just jump a little further down. So the Ankh will bring us back, and it'll bring us back at that statue. And then we will have another item called the Hedget. Now, the Hedget, I don't believe, does anything for us yet, but it forms an integral piece of the puzzle to getting to the City of Gold, which you will see a little bit later. So we have 2 more levels of the ice caves left. Yes, it is indeed a very roundabout way of getting to a special level, but you know, that's Spelunky in a nutshell. Now, you can be forgiven for not figuring this out on your first try. Now, there is this is a special level again. I sense a psychic presence. This is a secret, or not a secret, but a special kind of level that allows you to get a jetpack. Obviously, an item that is exceptionally useful. I just want to see what happens to this. I was hoping I'd be able to get that crate. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to get the damsel as well, but the ropes are fine too. Actually, you know what? I will be able to get the damsel. I just want to make sure I'm staying far enough away that the mammoth can't accidentally freeze me. Let's find our exit, and we're basically good to go. At this point, we don't need to find any more items just yet. There are... Oh my god, are you serious? There are other items that at some point I will need, but for now, this has actually been a very good run, on par with some of the better runs from the series that I did on the Xbox game. Or the Xbox version, I should say. So we have 1 more level here, and there's other secrets on this level. By the way, I didn't actually mention it explicitly. That was really stupid of me. The secret on the other level, I sense a psychic presence here, is that there is the potential for you to get a jetpack, which is an exceptionally useful... We will get the damsel here, by the way. An exceptionally useful kind of item for movement and also survival. But you're going to have to spend a lot of bombs or platform amazingly to make it work. So I'm not too concerned about it. I do hope I have the opportunity to pick up a shotgun at some point, because we are about to head down to the temple, which is the last area of the game, effectively. And things get much, much tougher here. So we're going to find an enemy called Anubis. This is the next step of the getting to the City of Gold puzzle. Now, to kill Anubis, we're going to use bombs. He will kill us instantly, by the way. That didn't hit him. And, you know, this is one of those situations where there's a very useful item called paste that, unfortunately, I am not going to have access to. Paste makes it so that the bombs get stuck to whatever they hit first. That would make it 20 times easier to kill this guy. Just stick a couple of bombs on him and he'd be dead. Instead, we find ourselves in this unfortunate situation. By the way, as you might expect, those circular things that he's firing will kill us in 1 hit. Also, no reprieve from the ghost. If we take longer than 2 minutes, this will just end. I'm going to just hit him with the bomb. I thought it did do some damage. Not very much. But some, at least. Yeah, it caused him to react, at least. This might be our only chance for taking this guy out. Yeah, it doesn't do nearly enough damage. So now we're out of bombs. That is, borderline death sentence. And I don't like being in this position. Now, we could just try to beat Olmec. That's true at this point. But I want to take a look. Maybe there's other bombs around here. Maybe there's another way to kill him. Maybe I could get him to float down into this arrow trap. Now, I can't really jump on his head, because if I do, and I fail, he'll obviously just create some more of those circles and, you know, make my life a living hell. Let's try to jump over. Oh, that was scary. Okay. So I'm at a loss for trying to figure out how to kill this guy. If we had a shotgun, life would be 100 times easier. I almost managed to jump on his head there. If we can get him in a position where we can actually whip him, that would be great too. Instead, we're just going to throw some enemy bodies at him, I guess. Ooh, I almost got hit there. Okay. Oh, we hit... Where's he going? He ascended all the way up to heaven now. Normally... I died. That's fine. That was a good run. Normally, by this point in the game, you do have a shotgun or paste, so that becomes easier. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that run. That was one of the better runs that I've had in Spelunky. Usually these episodes end up being 2 or 3 runs, but because that one was pretty good, we're going to stop it there. If we kill Anubis, we get an item that allows us to enter the City of Gold. So we were really only 1 item away. Or sorry, I guess we have to get 1 more item after that allows us to enter the City of Gold. But anyway, we were really only 1 item away, which is pretty solid. Hopefully we'll be able to make a little bit more progress next time. But as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support on the series so far, and I will see you next time.